Hello to everyone with another episode, and today we are going to talk about how to do house move out cleaning, move out, vacate clean. Always before entering the house, apartment or unit or the property where that we need to clean, we always check that the door is locked. Why? That's for our security and the security of the landlord in case something happens before our arrival and the door was open. That's not under our responsibility, and we make sure that we lock it before we go. And if we find the door that is not locked, we need to let the landlord or the supervisor or the property manager know about it. One thing that we always do is to remove all the garbage from the place. It doesn't matter if it is something that has to be trashed or not. The key, we need to put it in a bag and report it to the supervisor if we find anything of value to the landlord or to the tenant. We always lock the door and we make sure that we follow the instruction on where to leave it. Sometimes we leave it in the letterbox or at the property manager or on the kitchen bench, but that's only something we do when we are able to lock the door without the key. So, to start the cleaning, a golden rule, we always start from the cleaning from top to bottom and from left to right. Why? In this way, we are not doing like the mopping first and then dusting. No, it's just common sense, which is not common practice, unfortunately. We first open all the cabinets, drawers, and wardrobe to have a look, to have an idea of what we have to clean. And while we are doing this, we have a big bag and we are collecting all the rubbish or putting aside anything that is valuable to the tenant or the landlord. Then we start dusting. So we chase all the cobwebs, dusting always from high areas to the lower areas. If there is an edge or a fan or an aircon, we need to do that to make sure that all the dust comes down. When doing this, it's recommended to have a mask. Then we start to work by areas according to how big is the property, how many people we have on the job, and how much time we have to do it, or the sequence, because sometimes we have to work an area first because the tenant is moving in, or because someone is coming to do a job, or because we need to do the steam cleaning as soon as possible. Yes, so we work with other tradies. Now, we can start anywhere we want. There is no wrong or right, but I will go area by area and tell you what we normally do in Cleanhousemelbourne. For example, if we start from the entrance, living and dining area, I have grouped it all in once. So basically, we have to dust first, vacuum all the carpets and the floors. I'm not putting any sequence to these jobs. Yeah, we just use our common sense. So dusting first, and maybe the last thing would be to do the floor, the mopping. So what we do in entrance, living and dining area, we vacuum, we clean the aircon, we clean it outside. Inside, we open it and we clean also the filters, and we then put it back, close it, and then clean the outside. We clean also inside the cupboards in the hallway if there is any, or shelves, or any thing that need cleaning. We need also to clean all the lights, switches, and plugs, marks on the walls, curtain boards, carpet edges and corners, because there is a lot of dust and debris and grime there, and most people don't do it. We clean all the frames and doors from both sides and the hinges, and that's all more or less in interest. If it is furnished, that we need to dust all the tables, chairs, couches, coffee tables, we need to remove them, remove the TV set, clean behind and underneath. If we have a rag, we need to vacuum it thoroughly, then we roll it, we vacuum it while we are rolling it, and then we put it aside. So like this, we can vacuum and mop the floor. Then afterwards, when it's dry, not it when it's wet, we put it back. Kitchen, that's one of the hardest areas that we normally tackle. So we need always someone who is experienced to do it. We always start from the top to bottom. We dust first, or we vacuum all the inside of the cabinet and drawers. That allow us to get rid of all the small rubbish and dust and small things that are not useful to us. And in this way, we can speed up our process. We then clean all the drawers inside and out, and the doors and the hinges, all the marks on the doors. We clean also the extractor, or known as range hood filters. We have to remove them. We can clean them with an oven cleaner or an easy off, something like this, okay, that you can find in any supermarket. Yeah. And around it, we clean all the inside as much as possible. Be careful with the lights. And then we go to the stove and we wreck it or disassemble it totally, clean, and then put it back. Then the inside of the oven, we clean all the racks, the door, the trays, remove all food from the corners. Microwave, we clean inside, outside, underneath, we move it. And we clean and shine also the dishwasher. Normally we do just the edges and the outside, because the inside normally is looked after with a normal clean of the dishwasher. Then we go to the fridge. So the fridge has to be moved out of its place, and in a manner that we clean all around it. We clean underneath, we clean that area that no one cleans normally, and then we clean also the inside. Vacuuming, mopping the floors, we do it more than once until we get fresh water. We still clean the floors if they are wooden floors. Sometimes we have requested to do that. We do the tiles and grout if requested. Then we clean also the lights and the switches. The splashback, very important. It is always very greasy, so it needs a little bit of attention. And then for last, we do the sink and the tap. And then we mop. Obviously, in the kitchen, there is a sequence. So any area that is very, very dirty, like normally we find all the ovens and the range hoods and the stoves, we normally use the product first. So what we do is we use all this product, which is easy off. It's very poisonous, so very, very careful when you use it. Don't breathe it. Use a mask all the time and double gloves. That's very important. And or we can use our commercial grade oven cleaner. We collect all the rubbish first from all these areas, and then we put the product and we give it some time to work. Why? Because it's normally very greasy and it needs some time to work. And in this way, the product is working, not us. Then we work after with the remaining dirt. If the property is furnished, then we need to clean also the white goods, such as toaster, kettle, mixer, blender, and any domestic utensil. That's always for the kitchen. Now, another person should be tackling the bathroom or bathrooms. Also there, we start from top to bottom. We clean the fan. That's something that always, most of the time, escapes to our cleaner's attention. We clean all the edges if there are any. We clean inside the shower, the walls, the glass, the floor. Normally we have grouts there that need a lot of attention, so that's something that we put the product first, no, together for the floor and the walls, and we'll leave it there to work. Sometimes also the glass is very, very dirty and has a lot of green. That's also something we need to give it some time to the product to work. Then once we have cleaned it, we have to make all the shower head and the accessories always shiny. We clean the mirrors and we leave them streak free. All the drawers inside and out, and including all the hinges and corners of the toilet lid and all around it. That's sometimes also that we put the product first, we stir it, and then we leave it there to work. Then we tackle all the marks on the walls. We clean the door from both sides and the hinges, switches, lights, skirting boards, sink and tap for last, and then we vacuum and mop. One thing that we always like to do is to do a check of the floors, because sometimes there are some residual of the mop or hair that is in the corner, so we always go back and do all the corners with a fresh microfiber cleaning cloth, just to make sure that we are not leaving any residual of anything that could give a bad impression about our cleaning. Then laundry, if there is any. We start always from the top. We start from the ceiling. So normally there is a fan or an extractor, so we need to tackle that. We clean also the dryer's filter. That's something that most of cleaners don't think about it. The filter traps a lot of things, so we need to clean it and make sure that it's nice and clean. Also inside the dryer, sometimes it's a little bit dirty or dusty. The plastic around the door also, that's something that skips to our cleaners' attention. We clean also the all around the dryer, especially the top is always very, very dusty because no one reaches it or no one sees it. If there is also a washing machine, we need to remove it, clean its place, cleaner all around it, clean the door, the inside of the door as well, and make sure that it's nice and presentable. Also, we need to have a look at where we put the detergent and make it presentable. We then look at all the marks and scratches on the walls and clean them. Doors, both sides and hinges. We steam clean if we need the grouts and tiles, if requested as well. Sometimes we are requested, sometimes no. It depends on the level of cleanliness that we are requested to do. Some people, they like it to be done, some don't. Most of our customers, they ask us to do it because it just makes a huge difference in the look of the grout. Then we clean all the drawers, the inside and out, cupboards, mirrors if there is any, skirting boards, switches, lights, and as always the sink and the tap we leave it for last because that's where we get our hot water. And then vacuum mop. Make sure that afterwards we check all the floor to make sure there are no residuals of our mop or hair. If the property is furnished, then we find more stuff there. So we need to go around all the furniture or anything that is there in the laundry to make sure that we clean it and we make it dust-free or presentable. And sometimes we have also some baskets, so we need to clean also those. Okay. Now, talking about the rooms, what we do is always we start from top to bottom. We shine all the mirrors, leaving them streak-free. We clean inside the closet. We don't pay too much attention to the marks and scratches inside the closet because they are normally not very looking very well, and they get scratched easily because we put our stuff there and it scratches the door. But because it's a closed spot, no one really pay any attention to it. Then we clean inside the wardrobes. Yes, rails, mirrors, drawers, if there are any hinges, aircon, inside and out, the filters, skirting boards, light switches, doors, we clean them both sides, hinges. Carpet, we do always the edges first and the corners, as to make sure that anything that is stuck there, we get it off. We use a very, very tight accessory to get to that. It should be plastic, otherwise it will harm the skirting boards. We do the windows, window sills and frames. We do the blinds. Normally we just clean the edges, like 5 centimeters of the edges. However, sometimes we are asked to clean also the blinds because they are dirty, or they have food, or they have bacteria, or they have mold. So that's something that we have to do. That's an extra. We normally use or soapy water or anything for mold. We use anything that has chlorine or the, what do we call it, bleach. Yes. Then we vacuum properly if it is just a carpeted room, or we mop it at the end. Okay, if furnished, we will have a bedside, so we need to clean all around the bed. We have to move it from the wall and clean all behind it, underneath it, as much as possible. Most of the time there is not much space, so we have just to move it from one side to another one. We clean all the side beds, we move them from their place, we clean inside and out. If there is any desk or armchair or a chair, so we'll have to clean those, always moving them aside to be able to clean behind. If we have a balcony, so for balconies normally we don't clean them 100%, just 80% is acceptable. Why? Because here in Melbourne we have a lot of construction sites, and after half a day any balcony that is sparkling will be dusted again. So we don't put a lot of effort in that. We remove all the rubbish first, and we dust first from top to bottom, and we get rid of all the cobwebs as much as possible. We clean behind and underneath the aircon motor, because that's normally where all the rubbish goes and hide. We clean all the windows, rails, frames and glass, and then we vacuum and mop the floor. Just to give you some special treats, we use some special products. So the first one that I have presented you was the Easy Off, and we have one for oven. That's what we use essentially. It costs like $3, but is amazing because it cuts the cleaning time a lot, and it's poisonous, so it's not our favorite product. However, when we are dealing with very, very dirty ovens, that's our salvation. We love it, but also we hate the fact that it's poisonous, and so we just use it carefully and when it's really needed. Another product that I love is Jif. Jif is amazing. It helps us to shine all the sinks, showers, head and tops. So anything with stainless steel, this is amazing. We have also a stainless steel skewer. That's amazing, and we use it to clean all the stove and oven racks. Please do not use them to clean the inside of the oven. It might scratch it or take a little bit of pain, so be careful with that. We have also another magic product, and it's called Gumption. We use it to clean all the marks on the wall. It takes mostly like 95% of all the marks. It doesn't harm the walls. It cleans better than the magic sponge. Why? Because the magic sponge can harm the walls, and sometimes it takes off a little bit of the paint. One more amazing product that we use is eucalyptus oil. Very strange, yes, but this amazing product also help us when we are dealing with glue or removing labels or tags from surfaces. Essentially, it's amazing to take off any stickiness from a lot of surfaces. Okay, I have also made a small list of the places that normally the cleaners skip or don't think about or do less, or so mostly they are the hinges on the door. They do the door but not the hinges. That's very important. Yeah, I just tell every cleaner that once they do an area, just to make sure that they take 1 minute 30 seconds and check just like this, and they are checking all their work, and if something has skipped to their attention, they can just rectify it straight away, and we don't give anyone the possibility or the pleasure of criticizing our job because we have already checked it. In kitchen, range hood, some people they don't think about it at all. I don't know why, but that's something very important. We can't ignore it. The bottom part of the cabinet, also that's something, especially if they are tall, they don't think about it. They don't see it. The space between the bottom cabinet and the floor, that's something also that skips to their mind because they clean the door, they clean the floor, but that part no. So, but you have just to look and check. You can get it. The grout cleaning, some people they don't think about it or they don't include it in their prices, and that's what make their quotes a little bit cheaper than us because they don't do this job, and that's something that most people they hate because it's a lot of effort and a lot of cleaning. Some people they don't move the fridges, so they just clean the fridge inside and that's it, and they don't move it, they don't clean around it, they don't clean underneath, and that's something that we need to do. Inside the microwave, some people they clean all the microwave, they move it, and then they forget to do the inside. Bathrooms, they don't do the grout or underneath the drawers if there is any gap there. Most people they don't think about it. Behind the urinal, some people they just skip it. Or the top of the shower head, it remains dusty. The top of the glass door, that's something else. And also corners, they just mop around and they don't do the corner properly. That's the reason why we go back to check the floors after we have done the mopping, to check all the corners. And behind also the doors, some people they just vacuum and mop, but behind the door is not done, so the skirting boards behind and the door also is not clean. I have also compiled a small good practice for move out, and I will just read it for you. Every time we finish an area, check it thoroughly as if you were the owner. Use gloves all the time, and as soon as a small tear, just change it. Your hands are much more precious, and it's your duty to look after them. Never use the gloves, sponges, or cloths you have used to clean the bathroom in any area. That's just common sense, but some people they don't think about it. That's why we normally give different people different areas. We don't give the same person a bathroom and another area because sometimes they cross-contaminate them. But yes, it's just common sense. You need to drink water. Sometimes we are very busy and we want to just to finish, or we are immersed in all the work and we want just to finish, and we don't think about having water. Water is very important, like small sip every 15 minutes, 10 minutes, at least once every hour. Don't lift anything heavy, ask for help. You are not paid for what you can lift, you are paid to work and to be safe. Always clean from top to bottom. Make sure the property is locked when you finish, and make sure you leave the keys where they have been instructed. Use chemicals only when they are needed. It helps the environment by using fewer chemicals. Use the right chemicals for each service, and if you are not sure, just ask. It's better to ask and do the right thing rather than doing the wrong thing, and then instead of one problem, now we have two. The first problem and the damage that you have made. Sometimes the damage is really high just because you haven't asked. You can always ask. Never work without shoes or with open sandals for your safety and security reasons. Know the product you use and use them wisely. If you are not sure, just ask someone who is more experienced or your supervisor. Pay more attention when using hazardous or poisonous products. Yes, use them less possible or not at all, or only when it's needed. Never jump from a ladder. You can slip and hurt yourself or someone or break something. It's not worth. Jump in your home, not in your job. Walk slowly when the floors are wet and let everyone know about it. If you are using a harsh chemical and you can't breathe, take a break, take a minute and go to an open space, outside or a balcony where you can have some more fresh air. Do it often as you feel the need of it. You are not wasting time, it's for your safety. Start from one side and clean towards the other side. We normally do from left to right. Don't jump clean. You will waste a lot of time, energy, and you might skip some areas or clean some areas twice. It's not smart. Develop a good pace and put all your attention into what you are doing. Never leave a scraper without a lid anywhere. Someone can get hurt. If a harsh chemical touches your skin, please rinse it thoroughly for 5 minutes and notify your supervisor immediately. If a harsh chemical goes on a carpet, clean it with a lot of water because you have to minimize it on that surface and advise your supervisor immediately. If you are late, advise your supervisor. It's not fair for others to wait for you. This is more or less what I have been able to gather for you. We are Cleanhouse Melbourne, here to serve you for any move-out cleaning or domestic cleaning or commercial cleaning. Even during COVID, we are allowed to do these kind of jobs. Please reach out to get some assistance with that. We usually can give you an estimate, a free estimate over the phone. Most of the time it's accurate. If there is a need, we will ask you for some photos just to have a better idea of what we need to do. If you have a COVID case, we have a system that can help you to get your COVID deep clean done in less than 24 hours. Thank you for listening, and I shall see you and talk to you very, very soon. Bye for now.